Hey everyone, and welcome to Oriental Empires. The game has been released a few days ago, but it's been in early access much longer. And recently it's been introduced to me as Total War meets Civilization. We'll see how much of this is true. I personally have played a lot more Civilization than Total War, so the comparisons I'm going to draw are probably going to be more between those two games, but I think I have enough experience of Total War to see a few similarities there as well. Apparently, if you're long enough in the starting screen, you get to see the credits. I will let them roll in the background because there's something else I would like to mention. The game itself has been provided to me by my partners over at Games Planet, and I've left a link in the description to their website. And if over the course of this video you guys feel like this is a game that you want to play yourself, then I highly recommend you check out the link I've left in the description. Because if you buy the game through this link of Games Planet, you first of all get a discount usually from Games Planet, about 15 to 20%, but every purchase you make also helps me out directly as I get part of the revenue. So that being said, I guess we can leave the credits and move on to single player. Now I personally haven't played too long with this, only maybe 30 turns, which is the first similarity between this game and Civilization, but I feel like I've understood enough to show you some of the core ideas of this game. As the name suggests, Oriental Empires plays in China, and there's actually two scenarios you can start from: the Grand Campaign and the Warring States. The Warring States, however, are currently locked because I need to have played 120 turns before I can start this. So we don't really have much of a choice, but let's read this out real quick. The Grand Campaign presents a grand tour through the development of Chinese civilization, starting from the earliest recorded times until the widespread adoption of gunpowder weapons, approximately 1500 BC to 1500 AD. Players start with a single town and must guide their kingdom to hegemony. And I have trouble with this word. It is recommended that new players start with this scenario as it contains a wealth of hints and useful advice. Now, the general goal of this game is to eventually become the ruler, the son of heaven, get the mandate of heaven, and become the emperor of China. As it was just said, you start off with a single town and need to proceed to dominance. You can do that. You have two ways to win. Either you subdue everyone militarily, or you win diplomatically, or a combination of both things, I guess, is possible as well. And there's several starting factions, or several factions you can choose from, and there's basically all of them have their unique bonuses and stuff like this, but there's two real big differences, because you have all of these guys who are regular farmers, and then you have some of the guys down here that are herders. So these guys are nomadic, and that makes the game play quite differently than if you have your regular farmers. As you can see, once again, this is locked. I have not played enough turns to be able to choose these factions, which is fine. So we're gonna go with the Shu. I've already had a look. This is basically the the locations on the map that your nation will be in, and I think I'm gonna go with the Shu just because they're further away. They're the furthest away. They're kind of isolated, so I think I should have an easier start. At least that's my idea. I might be completely wrong, but this is my hope. This would probably be even better, just so we have time to build up ourselves, but this is alright. So, the Shu, they gain extra craft development, thought development. This doesn't really mean anything to you, but they're farmers. Let's read out their history. The Shu are situated in the modern area of Sichuan in the west of China. They have their own highly distinct culture focused on the worship of nature and the sun. While slow to adopt writing, they have great talent in craftwork, producing a huge array of exquisite objects in gold, bronze, and jade. Particularly famous are the gold and bronze masks from Sanxingdui and Yinsha that inspired their symbol. Their location makes them natural traders. Historically, Shu played only a peripheral part in Chinese history, and since they left no writing of their own, not much is known of them. However, the archaeological remains make it clear that they had an advanced civilization. yeah, so I guess without further ado, let's get into the game. And we're immediately greeted by our personal advisor. We're located in Sichuan, a fertile plain surrounded by mountains. Your main threats are from the north and the southeast. I would advise taking your settler unit and settling a little way to the east to protect your capital against any attack from that direction. After that, I suggest expanding into the unoccupied land to the south and west, and then something else that I will explain to you a little bit later. So, first of all, let's check out the map. You see a hex grid that you can also turn off, but I don't know how to do that, honestly. That's kind of sad, actually, but I guess we'll just roll with it for now. And this is the first similarity to, well, the second similarity, the first being the turns, to civilization. You have this hex field, which I think is cool. You can also, this is amazing. You can zoom in or you can zoom out all the way like this to kind of have a strategical view, and then you can zoom in incredibly far. You can zoom in all the way into, well, your farmer's face, if they were to actually show their faces. Let's see, what about this guy, maybe? Alright, he's a... Nope. No, it's a lady, I think. But yeah, this is kind of incredible. You can see them here, and I love this. This detail, I mean, I'm playing on medium graphics, I think, but this is so cool. Look at this. Look how far you can zoom in. Hello. And what's also interesting is that they all have different faces. It's not like the same dude. It's completely different people. I like this. I like this. Really, really cool. But yeah, let's talk about a few other things. You can see our town here. We'll talk about this in a second. But we also have we have two characters that you can play, two unique characters. First is going to be our faction leader. This character is the leader of our faction, our king, emperor, or khan. You may use him in the same way as other characters to lead armies or govern settlements, but there are a couple of extra things to consider. Firstly, he has a personal authority rating, which is added to the authority rating of your empire. This can be increased by winning major battles, but also decreased by significant defeats. And this authority is lost when the leader dies. Secondly, when your faction leader dies, a new one will be appointed. However, to represent the uncertainty of succession, his authority will be temporarily reduced. So yeah, the authority is one of the... I don't know, how can I get rid of this? Nope. There you go. So basically, there's two values here. You've got culture, measure of your progress as a civilization. Increasing your culture increases your victory point score and increases happiness in all of your settlements. Culture also affects the value of trade within other powers, and so on and so forth. So this adds a few bonuses, and this is basically necessary to win a diplomatic or cultural victory. And then you have authority, that we've already read about, is the measure of your central government's ability to impose its will. You could compare it to stability in EO4. I think that's probably the best comparison you could make. It comes from state building advancements, and yeah, so there's various ways you can increase authority, and it is necessary because you can only have as many settlements as you have authority. It's a soft cap. You can technically have more, but that increases unrest in your provinces, and that's something you obviously don't want. But yeah, before we move on, let's check out our second... no, never mind. This is... Okay. We don't have an heir at the moment, apparently. So we don't have an heir. That's interesting. I thought we do. Apparently not. Well, those are our settlers. So, there you go. That is that, and they also look different. They're ready with their oxen carts here to settle a new town, and it was advised that we go to the east, which I'm not so sure about, because this is the end of the map here. How many people are going to attack us from there? We knew that the other factions are here, so I'm not entirely sure. I like our position because we've got the mountains to the north. We've got a river here, basically protecting us from all sides. And, yeah, that is actually pretty amazing. These are the possible places for settlements. You cannot settle directly on the coast. And, one thing I didn't tell you right in the first screen that we had, if you settle close to fish or rhinoceros things or game, you get extra gold and stuff, which is really important. So I guess we'll hold off on this and maybe check out our capital for now, P. This is the city interaction screen, and there's a few things that we need to consider, but I need to quickly put a pause in here. Hold on. Sorry guys, my nose is killing me today. But yeah, this is the city interaction screen, and there is, first of all, you can see your income and expenses, you can see your food and your food growth, you can see the unrest. There's noble unrest and there is peasant unrest, because that is influenced by different things. As I mentioned, if you have more settlements than you have authority, it's your nobles that get pissed off. Your peasants get pissed off because of other things. That's just one thing I wanted to mention. Also, you have your population. We currently have 10, whatever that means necessarily, and your population growth, which is basically depending on your food surplus and, of course, the overcrowding. Currently, all of our people that you can see right here are farming. And there's basically only two things your population can do. They can either farm or they can build something. And we'll see that change once we actually start constructing things. And yeah, there are peasants. Now, noble unrest is currently here because of our happiness. That is due to our governor. And then we have dissatisfaction. Okay, local factors, insufficient authority is a problem in previous grievances. So this is something that I couldn't really do anything about. It just happened. I hope this is going to go away. But we'll check that out later. As for food, we obviously, consume 1 per population. But we're producing a lot more from extra resources. The fish is giving us more food, which is really good. And then our farmlands are giving us some food as well. Okay, and our finances, last but not least, we don't have any expenses right now. We do have some income from taxes, but that's about it. So economically, we're not doing too well, but that will hopefully change soon. Is there anything else I forgot? Right, this is where we can build things. We have so far constructed a town, and we do need some palisades. We kind of need a palace, maybe. This is very expensive and actually costs more upkeep than we currently have in income, so this is certainly not a possibility. This doesn't cost any upkeep, so maybe we want to build this. Stout wooden wall to keep out bandits and raiders seems like a smart thing, especially in our capital, so probably going to build this very soon. Then we also have a bowyer, a group of skilled craftsmen turn out enough bows. Okay, well, we don't have that much money. And then a bazaar. We are apparently too isolated to trade, so this doesn't work. We need to find another civilization, another town before we can actually trade. And we also don't actually have anything to trade at the moment. Granary is useful if you have negative food growth. It basically gives you a few turns before your people start starving, which is quite useful, but it's not necessary in the beginning. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll start off by building a few more farms. You can see a few of them here already. We've already zoomed in. You can see our people working on the fields, but I would want to have a few more. So let's convert this to farmland, and you can now see that 2 of our 10 population is now becoming workers, and they're turning this into a farm. And I think we will do the same thing. Now, I think what we will do is we will try and stay on this side of the river. I don't think we want to cross yet, necessarily. So we'll make this, actually, yeah, we'll make this into farmland. There you go. Okay. So obviously that takes 2 turns, and then this is a queue. This takes 4 turns. I think we'll probably start going into this direction slowly but surely. Okay. Yeah, right now we can't really do much else. External buildings. Oh, we can build a... Oh, that's interesting. I haven't actually done that yet. So we might want to do that. Build a kai here. You know what? Let's actually go ahead and do that. Enables waterborne trade. Trade items produced by this settlement. Okay, it's costing too much. We can't do this right now. So we'll leave that for now. We can recruit a few troops. Civilians are needed for settling new cities. I think we're actually going to do that immediately, because at the beginning, everyone starts up with a town, you need many settlers, because otherwise all the land is going to be claimed and then you're going to have to declare wars to take it. So yeah, that's definitely something we're going to do. As for our forces, you have regular peasant militia. They cost a little bit of upkeep, nothing to create, however, because basically they just use the manpower that you can see here. It's very small, but this fills up slowly, I think. Maybe there's a cap to it, I'm not entirely sure, but you can, you know, if you're at war, you can all of a sudden just pump them out and have a huge army, and then once the war is over, you can convert them back into farmers. I also think that they do cost population, so you don't want to have them out in the field all the time. And as for the nobles, it's kind of the same thing. They cost a little bit more and are likely stronger, but we'll check this out later. For now, this costs 500 for the settlers to give them all their equipment, but we want them, so yeah, let's go for it. Have one civilian, one settler recruited. Okay, now with that done, let's get out of here and let's check out where we could go with our settlers. Now, we can't settle here because you cannot settle next to mountains, so that's kind of a shame. We could go here, which I think is maybe a cool spot. We could settle here, which I think is too close. Now, it was suggested to go east, but I don't really see the benefit in that, to be honest. I think this is probably a good next city. 1 mulberries. Huh. This resource will increase 30% value of any silk produced. That could be good. That could be really good. So we don't really have any great spots for our, well, for our settlements. I think what we'll do is we'll send our faction leader Lei Zhu and have him discover some lands here. Now, something that you'll notice is that our units don't move immediately. It actually takes them. You can give orders during your turn, and then they will move at the end of the turn at the same time with all the other faction troops, which is kind of an interesting approach. Yeah, you also have these. Actually, you know what? There is a notable bandit leader lurks here. He has made it known that he wishes to parley, though it is not clear why a lord would waste his time dealing with such scum. Move a character's attacks to initiate the encounter. So there's various small encounters, and they can, yeah, sort of give you events, which is interesting. So maybe I want to check that out first. Maybe I want to check out the bandit leader, although this does take quite a long time. You know what? I think I will, and we'll move with our settlers over here. I will ignore the advice and instead do something that I think is correct. Yeah, okay. There's a little bit more to warfare that we'll check out a little bit later. For now, let's check out our, I guess, diplomacy. We haven't met anyone yet. Our technology and culture. There's basically 4 trees. You have the power tree, which is basically your military thing. And we seem to start off with agriculture. Yes, that's because we're farmers. I suppose that the nomads have a different tree, first of all, and obviously don't have agriculture. We can go with a rammed earth wall that increases our defenses. We can go with military drill, giving us better spearmen. And we can also go with seedling transplantation, increases farm food production, or irrigation. Now, flood effects are reduced by 50%, and we have a well field system, which I think is really smart because our starting capital is right in between, you know, surrounded by rivers or a river. So I feel like this is the best thing to start off with. So let's do this. Then we get a bonus to craft, and we can start off with pottery, bronze making, metalwork, and jade. Since our little history told us that we have kind of bronze working and stuff, I think this is what we should start off with. And then to thought, we have a penalty, which is very unfortunate. There's once again various things that we can go for. It's cost 19 turns, that's pretty incredible. Increasing our culture, authority. I think I want to start with authority here. Divination. Only heaven knows the future. National myth. Ancestor workshop. I think we'll start with this. These signs may be the passage to the seasons, the behavior of animals, or in the shape of clouds. One skilled in the art can read the fate of a person and shape their face or the lines on their palm. I think we'll just go with this. And then last but not least, knowledge. We can go for a calendar. We can go for horse domestication or a composite bow. I think this is what we will go for. So yeah, let's just pick it. I don't fully understand how this interacts. I feel like that, for example, this one is a requirement. This thought research is required to go deeper into calendar, and so on and so forth, but I haven't fully discovered this yet. Anyway, I think this is basically it for the first turn. So yeah. Once again, my nose got in the way of recording, but now we can finally end our turn. I hope I didn't forget anything, but no, I think I did not. And now you can basically see the troops move. That didn't work out exactly as planned, but usually, yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work right now. It should. You should actually see them move. This is actually kind of a really sad bug. Ah, there we go. Okay, so you can finally see them move to their destination. You don't have to watch it like this, but it's, I mean, for now, I think it's really, really cool. And basically, in this screen, this is where you also encounter the fights. In the beginning, I mean, we need to actually find someone before we can fight, but you can also encounter bandits, which is probably going to be our first battles. Now, if you move through forests, then your armies are a little bit slower, but you also have certain tactics that you can use, like an ambush and stuff like this. But yeah, this is our leader right here. Let's see if we can get a better shot of him. There you go. And his bodyguard. He looks cool. And yeah, anyways, you don't have to watch it like this all the time. You can also zoom out, which makes it faster immediately, and then you can also improve or increase the speed. But yeah, there's a suggestion. If you haven't already, it might be a good idea to recruit another settler, which we already have. Okay, so the settler should be ready now. It is, and we can go ahead and check out some other places. So yeah, where should we go? Should we settle down south? I mean, maybe. It's kind of hard to say. We could settle here and protect us from... You know what I think we'll do? We'll move the settler here and we'll see what happens. I think this is okay. I don't think there's anything else we need to do at the moment, so we'll simply end the turn and I will show you what I mean. If you zoom out, things are going faster already, but then you can also fast forward if you need to. Yeah. Okay, once again, there's not much for us to do, so we can actually move up a little bit faster. And once you end your turn, we can actually start our new settlement. You can see that there's also seasons. So we've got winter now, which actually doesn't reach our capital completely, which is nice. So we seem to be in a warmer climate than the first faction I started off with, because they did experience winter everywhere. So this is an interesting change. Okay, and this is the first enemies that we're going to find, some bandits. But before we do that, let's go ahead and settle our city. Yep, found a settlement, Chengdu. And let's see, we can build a pavilion. What does that do? A pleasant place in the hills to visit will calm the minds of the lords and ladies who visit. Interesting. Now, once again, we don't have that much money. We're making 4 taxes. Okay, that's because we have 1 population, I suppose. Or 2. Interesting. Yeah, this is obviously not working specifically or particularly well. Let's go for the farm view. And let's start building some farms in winter. Why not? Let's start here, because that's close to the water. And we cannot construct more farms, then we have population. Okay, that's fine. And this is the encounter that we want to find. And now we have a little bit of a problem here, because we could get attacked. And I don't think it's smart to fight with our settlers. So we need to do something else. We've got our faction leader somewhere else entirely. So maybe what I should do is recruit some peasants. Yep. And we can actually go for 2 peasant militia. And then maybe the nobles as well. Is that too much? I think we'll go for all of this to decisively crush the, well, these bandits. And in the meantime, maybe what we want to do is scout with, or retreat with our settlers. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And hopefully not going to get attacked. We'll have to see. Okay, they're just standing there. Good. And then we should have an encounter here. Yes, we do. Very nice. Let's check that out as well. A bandit. My lord, my men and I have lost our lands through war, famine, and greedy aristocrats, and we have been forced to turn to banditry to survive. We are not bad men, though, and would prefer to make our living honestly in the service of a lord we respect. Add 4 units. Wow. Ask for nothing. That is incredible. Wow. So we just got a huge army, which means there's basically no need for the garrisons that I have just recruited. Wow. Okay, that is amazing. Now, I don't know how this works exactly, because I've never disbanded an army, but Bandit Light Spearmen, I don't know if we have to pay upkeep for them. That would be something I'd be interested to know, but wow, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to check this. For now, this will be the end of this first episode, because I think it's gonna take too long for my people to get over here and actually engage in fighting. But I will probably send you back home, all of you, to Chengdu, and then, yeah, we'll see what we do next time. But, as I said, if this is a game that you enjoyed, if you want to see more of this, please let me know. This is kind of just my starting off here. If you don't want to see it, then I will probably not make this a series, simply because I've got so many other things I want to play. But I think this could be interesting. You let me know, and if this finds enough attention, then I'm pretty certain I'm going to make a series of this. Anyways, this was it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.